Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery starring Jerry Springer, along with Gene Galvin and me. I'm Megan Hills. We're recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky.
My daddy came home.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Jerry Springer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I certainly want to thank those people that clapped with their thighs because they were holding a cup of coffee. We're at the coffee parlor here.
We are.
And that was very nice to do that. It reminds me, having nothing to do with anything, but which...
Oh, my, here we go.
But, Gene, you and I went, we're here across the river from Cincinnati, and we went to... I think at the time they called it the Ice Bowl, but it was when the Bengals played San Diego Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
And I even remember the date. It was January 10th of 1982. It was 25 below zero was the temperature. The wind chill was like 50 below.
It's unbelievable.
And, of course, this was the winner of the game. It was for the championship game. The winner would go to the Super Bowl. It was the AFC Championship. And the Bengals had not been. So this was like, wow. The stadium obviously packed. But it was so cold. And
how cold was it, Jared?
It was so cold. We all wore everything we owned.
It's true.
And you did. Whatever you owned, you put on. And, of course, you had scarves around around your mouth. And you had all these mittens and gloves and everything. So the game was played in total silence.
Nobody could hear anything.
It was really weird. You couldn't hear people cheering because our mouths were covered, and you couldn't hear them clapping. And that just kind of reminded me. It was real eerie. But we won that game.
Yeah, we did. That was an amazing day. And bright, I remember, bright, sunny day, but as cold as you've described it.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I'm excited. I'm very, very excited because this is something that's I get to do if you guys will agree to it. But we're now getting a deluge with people who want to advertise on the show. We started advertising with the Ludlow City Bus Company. They're very pleased with the results that I've gotten for them.
Oh, yeah, the big boards on the side of the bus.
The bus.
My picture on the side of the bus. So the people are loving it. So we got contacted by a new app. And Megan, I would like to, as I described this to Jerry, I would prefer you put your hands over your ears because I don't want you to know about this new app because you're a young Catholic girl. I just don't think you should know about this. But Jerry, there is a new app, and this is for real, called Thrinder. It's the number 3 and then NDER. So
Thrinder.
Like 3. So do you know, Jerry and Megan, keep your hands over your ears. There is an app called Tinder.
Yeah.
And Tinder is an app where
it's a dating
these
app,
young kids go.
Hands over your ears.
And they
so sorry.
They left swipe, right swipe, and if you get a match, if you right swipe, and if two people.
Well, you mean there's
on
a
your
picture.
phone, on your phone, and
There's
there's
a
a picture.
picture.
So this is a totally super shallow application.
It sounds
on the phone,
perfect.
Movement. The only thing that matters is
Right up
there
his alley.
instant visual attraction. And
you
if
only
there
get like
is,
5 pictures. You don't even get to do like a whole profile.
She knows how this works.
I've heard.
Yeah,
I've heard.
What, you can put 5 pictures
You have
of
5
yourself
pictures
up?
on it. You don't get. It's not like anything else where you can actually like fill out a profile. Like most of the dating sites you go on, you fill out a whole profile and they do all this.
Strictly
Never done even
pictures, too.
I think it's like 500 characters limit. Like you can't even talk about yourself.
Yeah, we don't care.
really
don't
don't
care.
care.
about that.
Are there any seniors on it?
Like
would be
seniors in
called-
high school? What are you talking about? No.
That
He
one
means
would be called
senior
Cinder.
citizens. Yeah.
Senior Tinder.
like
Cinder.
Oldner or something. But anyway, so now there's one out, and it's horrible. And again, we don't want, for sure, Megan should stay totally away from this, even if she's curious, because you could be curious about it. But it's called Thrinder.
It's
and
what
about,
does it-
Thrinder is an app, apparently, my cousin told me about
Allegedly.
this, I know nothing of this, where you go onto this app and you can hook up 3 ways. And so I would like to be...
Is that like chili and cheese?
Well, that's
with,
I was gonna say.
one wonders.
Yeah.
But I would like...
One wonders.
one wonders.
Because
So
I would have a 3-way.
Well, I know you. I mean, you usually do when we go.
I don't want onions.
No,
I don't want onions.
The
but-
chili, spaghetti, and
yeah.
cheese.
And I think
delicious.
that's totally appropriate.
So I was
Sounds
thinking,
good, doesn't it?
Delicious.
with your blessing.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not an endorser in the sense that I've used it because I haven't, and I won't.
You're asking for my blessing?
I'm asking for your blessing.
Yeah, I'm not usually asked for blessings.
That
but go
I
ahead.
do, and maybe we do a commercial, and
Yeah.
this is the music that I'd like to use as the bed for Thrinder. So you tell me what you think of this could be the bed of music behind it.
Up on Mount Olympus, all the gods were hanging out.
Far out.
Nectar and ambrosia had them staggering about. Hot sauce, beans, and onions can give you gas and gout. But in the fields of Elysium, this is what they shout.
Here's this part.
I want to have a three-way with everybody here.
Wouldn't that be good? And then a voiceover on top of that.
Welcome to
Oh,
Thrinder.
that Welcome to Thrinder.
I want to have a
So,
three-way.
I
Dignity at the door.
leave your dignity at the door. So, if
Oh, do you mean this is like 3 people having?
shut up, Jerry.
Relations.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Jerry
yeah,
Springer would not know about three-ways. There's no.
Hey,
Oh, no, that seems so inappropriate.
Well, I agree.
Are they up yet?
No, it's a bad idea, and we shouldn't do it, and we're not going to do it because it would be wrong. Hey, by the way, I made a commitment, or Jerry, and Megan, we all made a commitment when we started Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, that we would listen to our listeners, that this would be interactive, that we would
Yes.
occasionally have people on,
Yeah.
that people could phone in, and people have sent emails. And this takes us back to our radio days, but I did a rip and read. I just pulled this off of my my printer. Haven't read these, but I've got some emails, so I just thought we'd share them with the listeners. So this is from Marilyn Stewart. It says from Orlando, Florida. And
She's your printer?
No, she's an emailer.
Thanks for listening, Marilyn.
So that's good, Megan. So Marilyn says,
Yes.
"Oh my
Hi,
God, listen
Marilyn.
to this. What kinds of characters are you? I've heard Denise Compton, oh my God, remember her, of
I told you this was
Podcast
gonna come
Watch
back.
on your show 2 times.
Yes.
And she seems reasonable and congenial. And twice, this is you, Jerry Springer, you've made her the brunt of your twisted senses of humor by sending her on wild goose chases around the country at great expense to her.
well,
You remember you sent her...
You did.
No, you did. I didn't.
You're
You
both
sent her to
guilty here.
Chicago, where your show hasn't been for 6 years.
Yes.
And then you said she could come and be on our podcast because she's a conservative and
Yeah.
she's complaining that we're too liberal.
Mm-hmm.
So then you tried to appease her by saying, well, how about if you come here, sit at this table talking into that guest microphone I'm pointing to? And she loved that. And then she said she was coming and you told her it was in Asheville, North Carolina. Do you remember that?
I do
Well,
remember that.
Marilyn Stewart from Orlando, Florida, does not think it's funny. She says, oh my God, she's threatening us. Listen to this. This is Marilyn Stewart. Make amends to her, or I'll make trouble for your podcast that you'll regret. Oh, look at this.
That's
she has a
menacing.
PS. Liberals, and she's made not in all caps, liberals do not always win. That's pretty
Well,
interesting, isn't it?
That's a little
Marilyn Stewart,
aggressive.
Orlando,
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah. Well, Marilyn, I tell you what. I'm willing to, talk about this. Why don't you come to our show?
Oh, see, that's
we're-
nice.
we're in Kansas City.
No, we're
and
Missouri.
Oh,
Yes,
my,
it's
here
a
he goes
lovely
again.
city.
we're,
All right, this
you
is from-
If
listen
you
to
would
this.
come and see us.
I told you that Denise
on-
Compton stuff
on
was going to come back
Tuesday
to bite
night.
you in
Megan,
the butts.
you know-
I totally told you that.
You know, as an HR manager in your day job, that is not funny what he does
It's not
when he does
funny
that.
at all.
And he has
It's
legal
not-
And how
consequences.
funny is Thrinder?
Well, no.
That's
well,
actually
yeah.
kind of funny.
HR.
Yeah. Well, that's
Thrinder.
different. That's different. Okay, look at
You
this.
on the Food Channel and talking about
Hey,
chili.
Megan, check this out.
Yes, sir.
This is from Robbie Allison of Spokane, Washington.
Hey, Robbie.
Yeah.
He writes, I listen to your podcast for one reason, Megan Hills.
Aw.
Isn't that something? She's the only
Oh,
one
fine.
truly
Oh, yeah.
rich
Megan
in
is
spirit
big.
and personality.
Yeah.
Increase
Oh, good.
her talk time, and there's an exclamation
Thanks,
point.
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's so Cindy.
Isn't that
So
weird?
you're rich. No, you're rich in spirit and personality.
spirit. Personality, right.
Okay. Walk into a car dealer and buy your old
Hi, I'm Megan Hills, and
BMW
I've
with
been told I'm
with
rich
some
in
spirit.
spirit.
Yeah.
yeah. Put your
Robbie Allison.
spirit down there.
All right,
and get
here's
yourself
one.
A car.
I like this because this is from New York City. I'm just looking at the headline. This is from a guy named Alex Sims of New York City. I love New York City. We all love New
city.
York City.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Oh, look,
I grew up there.
this is directly to you, Mr. Springer.
Ruh-roh.
I've
Oh,
listened.
it's not to Megan?
It's straight to you.
Yes.
I've listened to all of your episodes of your podcast to date.
Yes.
I find them to be, well, put bluntly, predictable. If you'd like to pick up the pace and creativity, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I've produced several national shows that have all won awards in their first year. I would advise you to not allow Mr. Galvin, your producer, or his legal representative to know that I'm making contact with you.
Okay, well, don't read it. 'Cause I don't.
So give it here.
Yeah. Okay.
Megan, what's
Okay,
this?
we can talk.
So we've got
Yeah.
we've got some constructive criticism coming in.
Gene's on a short.
What's his legal
He's like-
representative
Gene's
mean?
on. Yeah, Gene's on a
So
short-term contract.
Here's how we handle this in the HR world. We call him in and we say, Gene, we need to talk about a couple of things.
Yeah, right. Hey, by the way, on that, how many personal leave days do I get on the podcast?
How many days a week do you work here? No. One. So you get-
Wait. You said he works here? He sits here.
sits here,
He
yeah.
has a.
Ale 81, Kentucky's finest.
Hey, have you ever used that?
Is that liquor?
Yeah, right.
It's really good.
In your HR job, do you ever use the term, say to somebody you're firing, the company's going in a different direction?
We've decided
I
to go
hate
in
to
another
hear that. I
direction.
used to
Oh, that's
always
my
hate to
goodness.
hear that.
We've decided to go in another direction. It does not
Yeah.
include you.
Yeah, it doesn't. Hey, by the way, and Jerry, you always talk about, appropriately, he's really a cool little kid, your grandson.
Yeah.
And he's very cool, and he's great athlete, as young as 7 years old or so, or something
Playing
like
hockey
that.
now. Yep.
He's playing hockey. He does well in school. No problems in school, etc. And my son, one of my sons, Gene Jr.,
Yeah.
and my son Gene Jr. had a son, and he's Gene the third. So we call
Yeah.
him Three. I call him
Yeah.
Three, just as a nickname.
He's
But,
not quite as good in basketball, but
Well, he does. He's on a
No,
team, and
he's-
he's really not that good. But Gene Three or Three, this is bizarre. He was at age 6,
Yeah.
first grade,
yeah.
suspended from school for 10 days.
What did he do?
Dead serious. The first grade.
That's impressive.
No.
I went to his home. I went to his home
Right
to
away.
pick him up to take him to basketball practice yesterday.
yeah.
I do that on Tuesdays. I walked into a scene that I had not
This is gonna
seen
be
before. Mom and Dad were sitting at the kitchen table. They were called home from work, by
Yeah.
the way. Three was sitting there, his head down. Kind of noticed right away something was up.
geez, Gene,
And
this
I
is horrible.
said, and I said, what happened? They wouldn't tell me, so I'm taking him to basketball practice. What happened? He says, well, I was at school, and the teacher was doing a science lesson, and they sat on a big carpet in the classroom in a circle, and the teacher said to the class, what does a chicken give us? And some kids said, eggs, and she said, great. What does a pig give us? And other kids said, bacon. And she said, what does a big fat cow give us? And my grandson Three said, homework. You give us homework every day.
No.
And she
no.
said, get him out of here.
I hate you so
And they
much.
suspended him
And they
for
sus-
10
for 10
days.
days?
You are
10 days.
just, oh my God.
What?
And you know what's really sick about that is I fell for that setup. I am ashamed
when
of
he
myself.
said serious.
That is disgusting.
No,
Hey, Jerry.
but- well, I was
I'm
home. Yeah.
Okay, no, go. What do you got? What do you got?
No, I think
What
I
do you
might
got?
have told you last week.
Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe 7 weeks in a row.
No. This is things are really going well at home, and
Oh, no.
well, we had an evening of intimacy because I'm on the road a lot.
Oh my God.
Really?
My wife and I, Mickey and I, we had a moment. We had an evening of
Very brief moment.
and,
Brief moment, right?
and I don't know. but God bless Mickey, and I'm not speaking out of school.
You're
but
actually
she
using
likes
her
to
name.
talk-
I make up names. I use a name. I made up a son. You
Yeah,
actually
well-
are going to name her.
Well, oh wait.
What are you
Well,
doing?
no, Joanne.
Has
Joanne.
anybody taught him how to do this?
No, it was
You know?
Zelda.
Zelda.
Yeah.
Your wife
So my
Zelda.
wife Zelda.
Yeah.
Well, and she always she's wonderful, but after sex she always likes to talk. And
You got to get to the funny. You got to get through it. You got to.
In fact, last night she called me from Cleveland. She always likes.
You know, you have a personal assistant. You know who my personal assistant is? Me. I tried to ask Megan once to be my personal
I
assistant.
laughed
Yeah, really.
a lot.
Can't Jene go online?
Oh, mention her name.
Yeah, you're right. Can't she go online like I do and get you jokes?
Seriously.
No,
come on.
no, it goes like this. You know, my wife always likes to talk after sex. Last night she called me from Cleveland.
Yeah, bam. Hey.
I didn't need the long,
No.
plus using Zelda's name.
No. Hey, by the way, and just a quick headline. We are going to we have tonight, in a few minutes, a musical guest, actually two, that is really cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
A couple of young people, both young people, one very young, who are taking up this music. And the music being roots music. And Jerry and Megan were all such fans of this style of music, and we love to see it passing on to other generations. So we're going to do that in a minute. And Jerry, I wanted to ask you something. Our show is heard, and episodes are archived, and people go to them when they can, and sometimes they get to them close to when we put them up, post them. Sometimes it's a little bit after that. So we don't hit on, headlines like you would on a daily talk radio show. But Donald Trump, depending on your point of view, now I can make a joke and say Democrats say he's the gift that keeps on giving, but it's stopped being funny, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you, there are rolling events with Donald Trump in the news. But give us some analysis as you see it of him and some of the more recent things, which I know you'll describe as you talk about it.
Well, I would think the first thing that comes to mind, I would hope that every American would agree on. I mean, that's the thing which is most annoying, and I guess I'm really as angry at some Americans as I am at Trump, is if we can't agree that the basis of America, in fact, it was the reason our nation was formed. The people came over here to the New World because they wanted religious freedom. It is the basis of the United States of America. It's our very first amendment to the Constitution. It is the one thing that is not debatable. And why it's a campaign issue for Trump to say that no Muslims will, if he had his way, and if he's president, he will work hard to see that no Muslims are allowed to enter the United States. Well, you are basically saying to the world, if you say that the whole idea of America is, bullshit. If you believe that that is okay in our country to say that, then you owe an apology to everyone who ever fought and died for this country. What is America if it isn't religious freedom? There's no other side to the argument. And the burden now is, and you know what? I'm not going to put it all on Trump, because frankly, a whole bunch of the candidates have been pretty close to saying that. Well, we'll let Christian refugees in, but, not Muslims. We're going to have certain tests or cards that they have to carry around. Time out. Do you want to have a country or not? I mean, if all America is a piece of land, then why are we special? Why did we fight communism all these years? Why did we fight any of our wars? If we are agreeing that we're allowed to distinguish among people based on their religion and keep certain religions out, then just close up America. Take down the Statue of Liberty. There's a wonderful, wonderful front page cartoon in the New York Daily News where Trump is cutting off the head of the Statue of Liberty. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what is happening now. So it is now incumbent. Look, Republican Party is not looking for advice from me. If I were a diehard Republican, I would say, in order to save my party, every single one of those candidates running for president and the chairman of the RNC And every Republican congressman ought to say right now that if Donald Trump is the nominee of the party, they will not support him. Stand up and mean something as a party. I mean, for a lot less. I remember in 1968, Democrats stood up against the president of their own party, not just a candidate, but against the actual president of their own party, and said, we will not support Lyndon Johnson. You know, that didn't have to do with the soul of America. That was a political issue of whether we should be in Vietnam. But this has to do with what America is about. Do not tell your children that the idea of America is that in this country you can believe as you wish. You can believe in God as you wish. That is sacred. We will fight and die for it. And then show up and start cheering someone who says, if you're a Muslim, you are not welcome in the United States of America. That is disgusting. And it's horrible. Too many groups have been victimized by that same feeling. You know that poem by a guy who was in the concentration camps for, I think, 6 years, Numala. I apologize if I have his name wrong. But, you know, they came for the socialists, and I was silent because I was not a socialist. And then they came for the trade unionists, and I wasn't a trade unionist, so I was silent. And then they came for the blacks, and I wasn't black, so I was silent. And then they came for the Jews. And I was silent, and because I wasn't Jewish. And now they're coming for me, and there's no one left to stand with me. That is the idea of America. It is not a political issue. It is the American issue. Don't stand up in the seventh inning of a baseball game and start singing the national anthem and how patriotic you are if you think it is okay that we here in America say that someone, simply because of their religion, is not welcome. It is disgusting.
Yes, it is. All right. Well, it's heavy stuff, but it's real, and we can't ignore it. But we're going to now pivot to something that's a lot of fun, and that would be, we're going to ask if Joe Macharet would come in, please, and join us, and he's going to slide in next to the microphones.
Hey, Joe.
And let me introduce Joe. Joe is a number of things in the music world in this Midwestern region. Number one, he is a member of the Tillers. And the Tillers, probably everybody in this room knows, is, I would say, the preeminent, certainly one of the preeminent folk bluegrass, roots music, if you will, groups after the Jerry Springer Singers.
After the Jerry
that's right.
Springer Trio, yeah. World-round.
And Joe is the fiddler for the Tillers, but Joe is also the head of a group called Joe's Truck Stop. And I was mentioning to Joe earlier before the program, and I was sitting in here because I'm in Folk School Coffee Parlor all the time, and Catfish, the owner, always has music playing, and I heard some sounds going in the background, and Cat, you would agree, I'm always saying to you, who's that? And he always tells me who that is, and so I said, who's that? And he says, that's Joe's Truck Stop. And I said, man, that's really good. And he says, well, that's Joe from the Tillers. So I didn't know that, and the point is that Joe is very versatile, and we're going to ask you to do one of your songs, and then we're going to talk about the fiddle. That's going to lead into bringing in 13-year-old, by the way, Katie Hall, who is becoming a fiddler, and Joe is her mentor, her teacher. But Joe, do a song for us first, please.
All right. Here's a song I wrote called Run, Johnny, Run, a fast bluegrass one. Oh, where you, John Robert Boone? Oh, where you, John Robert Boone? Well, you've run off once again. Oh, where you, John Robert Boone? Run, Johnny, run, run as fast as you can. Well, the cops coming after you. You are wanted. mafia, moonshiner, son, and you don't know about nothing but trade and what you grown. Run by the pigs, hell, they want you done, but we're all on your sides, so just run, Johnny, run. Well, you flow like a ghost, your footsteps can't be found, no tire tracks, no fingerprints, no mermaids, not a sound. And the low sympathizers, well, now they've got your back, saying whatever they can say to keep you from being trapped. Well, you're here, the cornbread mafia, moonshiner, son, and you don't know about nothing but trade and what you grown. By the pigs, hell, they want you done, but we're all on your side, so just run, Johnny, run. Well, you're here, the cornbread mafia, moonshiner, son, and you don't know about nothing but trade and what you grown. By the pigs, hell, they want you done, but we're all on your side, so just run, Johnny, run. I say we're all on your side, so just run, Johnny, run.
That's as good as we've heard. That is a long way from G, C, and D7. And me playing Tom
Just
Dooley.
one- I only play one more
Holy cow, that is fantastic.
Yeah, that
But he has 12 fingers. See, that's the difference. See, the rest of us have to get by in life with. If I had so many fingers, I could do that.
And it makes sense that the Tillers added Joe to their group because they've been around for some years, and now you've joined them within the last 6 months or so. Is that right?
Yeah.
And something I wanted to ask you, Joe, your background, because I've had conversations with you here at Folk School Coffee Parlor, but you, your background as a kid, including fiddling, was in violin. You had been trained in classical violin, and you spent some time at Berkeley even along the way.
Yeah.
And you obviously play other stringed instruments, obviously. You just did that on the guitar. And that's an original song that you did,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah. What caused you, how old are you?
24.
So as a 24-year-old guy, what caused you to go from more classical training in stringed instruments to Appalachian music, to music of, old-timey tunes?
Well, my parents are both from Eastern Europe and Russia, so they had this sort of idea that I'd grow up to be like this Russian classical pianist or violinist. So I grew up playing classical piano when I was 5. And
I only know one Russian word.
Yeah.
Garage-key. Garage-key. It's a key that opens a garage.
Garage key? Yeah, that sounds...
You see what he did? They just interrupted this whole thing.
I was actually
with a cheap-ass joke.
I was about to tell that joke. That,
Joe was about to do that joke. Yeah. That's the one joke that Joe had, and then you did it.
We're sorry, Joe. We're sorry.
But, so...
Pretty good.
It's all good. Grew up playing piano and then violin. Started when I was 10. Did that for a few years, but didn't really relate to what I was doing musically. I like playing music with other people, so started doing that and jamming on random stuff and playing along.
But with roots music kind of jamming? And
not yet. It started with me just playing violin along to Led Zeppelin records and stuff like that. And then finally finding bluegrass and old time as something I can do on my instrument, and also something I was really getting into and getting passionate about, listening to and studying. So.
And are you pretty committed to it? I mean, is it safe to say this is the music you're going to do for your life now? This style
I don't
of
know
music?
if I can say that, what I'm going to do for my whole life, but I probably
You'll
will.
have to decide.
Probably will
Right
be.
now, Joe, this
I'll
is it.
probably be playing
We like
a lot
to break it on our
of
podcast.
old time bluegrass, country,
Yeah.
blues, old swing music. I like old American music a lot.
Yep.
And that's what I do.
And I'd like to ask Katie Hall if Katie Hall would come in and join us, and we're going to
Katie.
introduce
This is
Katie. Well known at the Folk School Coffee Parlor. And similar to Joe, your training also was in classical violin, correct? And is it the Suzuki program?
Yeah.
And you started that when? At what age?
Like 4 years old.
Wow. And you're 13 now?
Yeah.
Does that make you an 8th grader at some
Yeah.
school somewhere? Okay. And tell us what made you decide that you wanted to play mountain music, roots music, instead of classical violin?
I feel like it's not as uptight as classical.
Okay.
I guess. And
This music is not uptight.
I just really enjoy the music.
Okay. And Joe became your teacher, and I'll assume, Katie, because we all, people who hang out here, and your father's a regular here as I am, and James Hall, who's in the house. And I'll assume that it was pretty cool when you got Joe to be your fiddler teacher because of his reputation as a fiddler in the area, correct?
Yeah.
And would you guys be willing to do a tune together, Joe and Katie, and let's hear what's going on?
If you would say no, that would halt the program.
We have no backup plan here, Katie.
We would
Please
say
don't
thank
do
you.
What was our backup?
Sing Irene goodnight, we would leave.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, right.
This is called Angelina Baker.
That is fantastic, and it's in all seriousness, we all three, the three of us, and the Details, Tunes, and tomfoolery, just so badly it's not like we know what's going on. We're happy that it's going on, that this music is moving on down to young people like you, Kate. Let me ask you something, Katie. What do your friends, if they know that you're playing this style of music, how does that relate to people in your school, other 13-year-olds? Do you even know?
I don't really know.
Okay. All right.
She hasn't told him yet.
She hasn't told him yet, yeah. Oh. Do you aspire, Katie, one day to be a significant fiddler? Is this something that you really like, or what do you think? And again, we're not asking you to choose your career at age 13 and announce it on
I mean, I like music, so I think I would like to keep doing it, but I don't think I want it to like be my
Your whole
regular.
career.
your main thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
my main.
All right. Well, plenty of time to just figure all that out. Well, I am an agent, just in case.
He is not kidding.
That's
Not
all
a
I'm
single
saying.
word that comes out of that man's
I'm just
mouth,
saying.
not one. Not a word, Gene.
No. Would you guys take us out on Irene Goodnight? Yeah. All right, we would love that. Jerry
I feel really
Springer
guilty about what I was
will
doing at
join
17
in.
now.
We've got Casey Campbell sliding over too. And I don't know where Maria Corelli went, why she isn't up here now. Here she comes. This is great.
Stop rambling, stop your gambling. Stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and family. Sit down by the fireside. Good night, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream.
Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in town. Sometimes I take a great notion to jump in the river and drown.
Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Go, baby, sing it.
You've been listening to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, recorded live at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky. Thanks to Patrick Kennedy for writing our opening song, and to you for listening. Check out our website at jerryspringer.com.